Hello, Andrew.
Oh, hello.
Okay, we've just watched Supergran, Series 2, The State Visit.
From the 12th of April, 1987. This is episode 6 of Series 2. Now, there are a few familiar names on this production, aren't there?
Yes.
Graham Williams producing, Gerald Blake directing,
Yes.
and Dudley Simpson
doing the music. Yeah.
And all the way through it I was thinking, this sounds a bit like Dudley Simpson from like the Pertwee years, and it was.
Okay.
But not from the Pertwee years.
Not from the Pertwee years.
But why did we choose this
We chose
episode?
this one.
Or did you choose it?
I
it was your
suggested
idea.
it.
Yes.
We chose it because there's a certain
Actor
in it, and he's there in the middle. It's Charles Hawtrey.
Okay. Now, this is Charles Hawtrey in the 80s,
Yes.
isn't it? And shall we say he's been not in a carry-on film for some time
Well,
now,
there hasn't been
has he?
any carry-on films for a long while, but yes, he stops doing carry-on films mid-70s, does he?
I'd have to work it out.
Yeah.
But so we have seen Charles Hawtrey's appearance on Runaround,
Which has to be seen to be believed. If you've not seen it, look it up.
where he plays Dracula.
Yes.
And then how shall we put his performance?
Yes. He's as
Heavily refreshed.
heavily refreshed. He's as merry as a king.
He's what?
As merry as a king.
Is that an expression?
No, I just made that up.
Merry as a king.
Yes.
Oh, perhaps people at home would
Yes.
like to use that expression.
Get it into the Oxford English Dictionary.
the
Kind of say
English
it.
Oxford Dictionary.
Yes.
But not only does it feature Charles Hawtrey, you've also got Nicola McAuliffe as well.
Yes.
And at this point, is she famous? Because when
She does Surgical Spirit. I think it's around this time she might have started to do it. I'm not exactly sure. I would have had to check that. I didn't check that.
all right,
She's probably a reasonably well-known face.
but because it's Supergran, I got terribly overexcited at the Tyne Tees logo.
You did,
again.
yes.
We said this last
Yes.
time when we
We
did
haven't got much Tyne Tees stuff, so
Supergran,
it's
but-
nice to see the logo.
But it's PC Leakey's birthday, isn't it? So Supergran's going to bake him a
huge cake.
special cake,
Yes.
which I think she ends up doing in like a cement mixer or something.
Yeah, he's
doesn't
got like
she?
3 tons of various ingredients.
But for some reason, Inventor Black,
Yes.
is acting as town crier
Yes.
as well.
That's because they couldn't afford anybody else to
Yeah.
be the town crier.
Yeah, I like
Basically, you can do it, can't you? You're old.
I like the way that, suddenly he's the town
Yes.
crier as well. I mean, I don't know if he's been in previous episodes
Yeah,
or
because we've not
anything,
seen any of the other ones.
He's got an announcement that
Yes.
the Duchess of Claridge is
The
visiting.
Duchess of Claridge.
Where's Claridge? Is
It
it?
isn't anywhere, it's a place, it's a shop, Claridge's. I don't think there is a Claridge. There might be a Claridge somewhere. If you come from Claridge, let us know.
But the Scunner Campbells,
Yeah, because he's broke.
yeah.
Yeah,
And this is a real 80s thing.
yes.
That they're standing outside the job centre.
Yes, and this job gets put in, personage of quality, to
Yeah.
look after the Duchess of Claridge.
What is he going to be, a general factotum?
A general factotum. And they basically go in.
I like the
and-
word factotum.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
And they go in, and the woman behind the desk refuses to countenance it, so they tie her up and put her in a cupboard,
Yeah.
and he just takes the job anyway.
But also arriving, apparently, he gets information,
Yes.
doesn't he?
Yeah. Now, how they got away with this next character, I don't know.
Yeah, so this is Peter Diddy
Yes.
as, who is it, Whispering Grass,
Whispering Grass, yeah.
who is his, like, sort of informer, I suppose.
yeah.
But how would you describe his look?
I would describe his look as looking like Wurzel Gummidge. With the hat and the hair and the carrot
He's got
nose,
the carrot nose and everything,
and the
doesn't
way he's doing it. He's got the sort of voice, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's most peculiar.
But are we in the sort of period of Wurzel Gummidge Down Under now?
Possibly,
aren't we?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's about 1987,
Something
isn't
like
it?
that, yeah.
So yeah, it does remind me actually of, I think, Les Dennis doing Wurzel Gummidge on 3-2-1, if you remember that
Yeah, vaguely.
episode.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that because it's He's got his, he's got the hat and everything. But yeah, he gets this message that Hattie the Hat, what was it?
Hattersley. Is it Hatterley? Hatterley.
Hattersley or something.
Yeah, Hattersley.
The kleptomaniac is arriving.
Yes.
And this is Nicola McAuliffe.
Yes.
Who we have seen in Panto, I believe.
Yes, she played Fairy Bobells in
something.
Dick Whittington, I think it was.
Where was that to?
Richmond.
Richmond. It usually is.
Yeah,
it usually was
Richmond
wasn't
or Windsor. That were the two places we went. Or once to Croydon.
Yeah.
But that was Brian Blessed. He split his trousers.
Yeah, I remember that. But
yeah, she wasn't supposed to be playing it. It was supposed to have been Dora Bryan. But Dora Bryan had this unfortunate habit. It's like she heard we were coming and just doesn't turn up. So she pulled out of it. So they hastily called Nicola McAuliffe in.
Yeah.
And I recall there were lots of off-colour jokes about Dora Bryan not turning up for the grown-ups.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, this cake gets baked, doesn't it, and delivered to the police station.
Yes. Meanwhile, they've gone to the railway station. Now it seems that in the, I can't remember what the name of the town's called. What's it called?
No idea without looking.
Chiselton.
Something like that.
It's got 2 railway stations.
Well, there's a sort of electric one with like overhead wires,
and a sort of steam
one. Well,
and
that's possible.
Hattie the Hat Hatterley turns up at the electric one, and the Duchess of Claridge goes to the steam one.
Yeah.
So they and she's all dolled up, Hattie the Hat, isn't she? She's got like a tiara thing on, and she looks a bit. They've done it a bit like the Queen's hair. And she turns up, and they obviously think she's the Duchess. She takes full. She uses this to her full ability.
But how would you say that sort of Nicola's playing this?
It's
a very weird performance.
It's a very weird performance because her laugh's a bit like Sid James, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, the laugh she does is a bit like Sid James. Yeah, it's a bit sort of. Well, she's playing it a bit sort of common, really.
But it's a real proper bit of weird acting.
Yeah, it
is.
It's a proper character. It's not just done
it's quite strange.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
But yeah, meanwhile you've got the real Duchess.
Yes.
Turning up,
and she's at the wrong place, and the guy in the information booth pulls his sign down when she asks him a question, and she finds her way to a taxi.
Yeah.
How she pays for it, I don't know, because royal people don't normally carry money, because there was a documentary the other night about Prince Charles, because he's 70 this week, and he was on a royal overseas tour, and he was buying things, which was really nice, from the local people, but every time he bought something, one of his aides would have to come forward and try and work out how much money it was. So we'd say, can I buy this? And he'd move on, and then the aide would come and sort the money out.
But I have to ask, and I expect that sort of most people probably don't know, how high is a duchess?
Right, it depends.
What's the actual?
Right.
I know there's a sort of pecking order here. You better explain.
It's going to get technical now. I'm sorry about this.
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's married to Charles Hawtrey.
Yeah. Who is the Duke
of Claridge.
Claridge.
Now, it depends if he's so. You've got obviously you've got the Queen at the top, and then next down from that is all of her children.
Yeah.
But then you've also got her cousins. So people like the Duke of Kent.
Yeah.
Is her cousin because it was he's her uncle's son.
Right.
Because the Duke of Kent was her father's brother.
Yeah.
And then the next Duke of Kent is her cousin.
Right.
So I'm guessing that the Duke of Claridge is a royal cousin.
Yeah.
So he's not on the top tier of royalty.
Right.
He's the next sort of layer down.
But who is the Duke of Clarence?
The Duke of Clarence is not,
I think,
not a name they use much these days. No. The Duke of Clarence is a son of the monarch, the king or the queen. Normally the king. So
is this what they're implying here?
Possibly, yes. Yeah. So if you think that maybe, if we're saying that the Queen still exists in this universe, the Duke of Claridge is one of her cousins. He is the son of not the previous monarch, because that would be her father, but the monarch before that. So, George V is the Queen's grandfather.
Right.
Right. He was also the grandfather of the Duke of Kent.
Right. Okay.
It's complicated. You have to sort of look at all the family
I'm glad
trees.
you understand this.
I'm sort of working it out. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So the Duke of Clarence, well, the most famous Duke of Clarence is the one that was drowned in the butt of wine.
Yes. Yeah.
By Richard III, apparently.
Right. Okay.
He was the brother of Edward the Fourth.
But what dukes have you got knocking around these
So
days?
you've got the Duke of York, which is Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
That's the Queen's second son.
Right.
You've got Edward isn't a duke, he's the Earl of Wessex, and when Prince Philip
So is Earl one down?
Earl is one down,
right.
but when Prince Philip passes on, he'll be the Duke of Edinburgh.
Right, okay.
So he goes up to that. You've got the Duke of Sussex, which is Prince Harry. Duke of Cambridge, which is Prince William.
Right. And
then you've got various other dukes. Duke of Kent, as I've said, which is the Queen's cousin.
Okay.
And there probably are various other dukes. Basically, the prime example of this is Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
Because she had 9 children, there's a lot of dukes.
Yeah.
So you get the Prince of Wales, which was Edward VII. Then you've got Duke of Edinburgh, and various other dukes. They don't tend to use Clarence that much anymore, though the last Duke of Clarence was Prince Eddie, who was Queen Victoria's grandson and was rumoured to be Jack the Ripper, which is why they don't really use it anymore. Slightly unlucky.
It's got a bit tainted
it's a bit
by
tainted,
sort of association.
Yes. So Clarence is one that gets shuffled along and
okay.
Yeah. And we've gone completely off the subject.
No, this is the sort of detail that I'm always into when we do these
that
things.
might be completely wrong, but that is my understanding of it.
There might be some notes afterwards.
Yes. Once I've actually
looked it all up.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm just amazed you can come out with that just off the top of your head.
Yeah,
I haven't got a clue at this point.
Roughly.
Yeah.
But,
okay, fine. You read a lot.
I read a lot. I find royal history interesting, which I know a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So.
But so the Duchess is taken into custody.
Yes, they think she's an imposter, so they stick her in the cell.
I love the way there's a big pointy arrow hand that says to the cells.
Yeah, but there's only one cell as far as I can see, because that's all they can afford to build. That looks like a proper building.
Well, all of it is. Yeah.
So that's actually a proper cell. Yeah,
this is all on film in some location somewhere.
But obviously they don't really need more than one cell, and the way it's set out, because it's like it reminds me actually of the York, the Oxford Castle.
Well,
you've got the cells
there.
And
dungeony bits.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Except it's not below ground.
Yeah.
It's quite bright.
Okay.
So
Or I was going to say Oxford Prison a bit as well.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Oxford Castle Prison.
Yeah.
And then bits at York as well, where they've got cells in the York Castle.
Yeah. All right.
Where they held Dick Turpin.
But she sort of shouts for help, doesn't she?
Help, Supergran!
And Supergran's on some swings.
Yes, and she sort of launches herself off and goes to see her. And the policeman, who's played by Robert Austin, who's
from the National Theatre of
Brent, and various other things, he's poo-pooing that she could be the Duchess. And so she basically, they go and phone her husband, which is Charles Hawtrey, and he's gone out, so they go and find him, and they've got this, like, it's almost like the Whomobile, isn't it?
It's this flying thing, sort of wood panelled, isn't
it? Really, I was trying to work out how they did that, because there was no CSO fringing that I could see.
Well, we are talking 1987, so the technology for inlaying pictures is a lot better, because of course it's all shot on film.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure how they did these sort of flying shots.
But basically, they go to the Duke of Claridge's castle and bring him back, protesting muchly.
I love the way he's got his robes.
He's got his robes and his little coronet thing on, which is a bit. It's a crown. It's actually too much, because it would just be like a coronet.
Yeah.
Duke's coronet, which I think is a bit smaller.
But we have to say, it's possible that they've had to sort of shoot round Charles Hawtrey a little bit.
He doesn't have to do that much. All he basically does is protest, sit in the car waving, and acknowledge the fact that she's his wife. There's not a lot of acting going on.
No, not really.
No.
Which is perhaps just as well.
Yes.
Yeah. But eventually it all sort of gets sorted out, and they sort of go off on the train, don't they?
Yes,
sort of waving.
The royal train. Yes, he wants his gold. He wants, because he said, "I only travel in a gold coach," and she's like, "You'll travel on a train and like it." This is wife, the Duchess.
And the Scunner sort of gets People sort of. So there's a load of people in the sort of street when he sort of goes off,
laughing at him.
Yeah, sort of pointing and laughing. Is it like? It almost looked like it was whoever was there on the day.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got your sort of main actors, but
and
to fill the crowd out.
It's either a load of extras or just
whoever was
people.
there that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think?
I thought it was all right. It was one of those ones I think if I was a child I would get annoyed with, because I always hated it when, as we said before, like with a lot of the Bob Block stuff, where people don't tell each other stuff. Where this is just a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a kid, I'd be going, no, that's not the right Duchess. That's like Hattie the Hat and the real Duchess. Yeah, you just get cross. Or I would anyway. I used to get terribly cross. I was a very annoyingly serious child.
Well, it was all real. It was on the telly, so you know. I'm a bit sort of indifferent about that episode. It has to be said. It's
enlivened by the performance that Nicola McCall.
Yeah, I think Nicola McCall is probably the best thing in it.
Just to see a bit of Charles Hawtrey being Charles Hawtrey.
I could have done with a bit more of him, frankly, but I can understand that maybe they.
I think he was But how do they describe it? He was a little bit pizzled.
Pizzled. Yeah.
So, yes, he did like a drop.
An ale.
There, yes.
Yes, you want to read Kenneth Williams' diaries about various things about that.
What with him and his mother, and his mother setting her handbag on fire every time. He'd have to chuck a glass of water in it, wouldn't they, to put it out?
Why did she set her handbag on fire?
Did she not drop a cigarette into it each time?
No,
Charlie, you put mother's bag's on fire again. And just like chuck a glass of water or a cup of tea in it and put it out.
Okay, well there you are. That's the trouble, because we've only seen a couple of episodes of Supergran.
We haven't mixed the bit in between.
I can't tell you how representative it is as
I think it's fairly representative.
As a series. Okay, fair enough.
I'm not entirely sure it's the most. It's obviously not the most serious series. It's obviously possibly not the best series. Even though it's done on film, which takes a lot of money.
I can sort of tell that everybody's having a bit of fun with this. Because especially like Ian Cuthbertson getting to dress up a bit in his
in the sort of heraldry
finery.
Yes.
And I rather think he enjoyed that.
I think he probably did. He's just having fun, isn't he? So.
Well, that's fair enough. You should all have fun.
We should.
Yes. Okay. Well, there you go.
Okay.
That's a bit of Supergran for you. We'll say good night.
Yeah.
See you again with something else.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.